Welcome back to The Trust Show. I'm Yoram Solomon, and today I'm reading Chapter 15 of The Trust Premium. The title is Empathy, Know Thy Customer. This is the fourth chapter in part 3 of the book, where we're exploring 5 behaviors that will make your customers trust you more. And empathy, that's one of the most powerful of them all. In this chapter, we'll talk about how trust starts by truly understanding your customer. Not just what they do, but who they are. What they care about, what motivates them, what they fear, and how they define value. Because they do it differently. Each customer does it differently. I'll dig into how to research, ask, and listen without crossing lines. I'll talk about finding common ground, avoiding landmines, and showing that you care without being creepy or invasive. And I'll look at how empathy isn't just a soft skill, it's a strategic advantage that directly leads to loyalty, referrals, and the Trust Premium. Let's talk about what it really means to see the world through your customer's eyes right after this. Welcome to The Trust Show. I'm Yoram Solomon, your host, the author of the Book of Trust and facilitator of the Trust Habits Workshop. My mission is simple. I want to help you form habits that build your trustworthiness, because the answer to this question will have the biggest impact on your personal and professional success or failure. Can I trust you? Chapter 15, Empathy, Know Thy Customer. Empathy is a cornerstone of trust building in any professional relationship, and nowhere is it more evident than in customer interactions. Trust, after all, is deeply personal and contextual. Understanding your customers, their personalities, needs, and preferences requires effort, attentiveness, and the genuine desire to see things from their perspective. The foundation of gaining trust through empathy is rooted in several key principles. The first is the third law of trust. The trust is personal. This means that trust depends on the unique characteristics of each individual and accepting that they are different from other customers. To build trust with one customer, you must understand that one customer. Generalizing from others won't suffice. The second principle is the role of empathy itself, the ability to see the world through your customer's eyes as if you were them. Empathy bridges the gap between you and your customer, allowing you to align your actions and communication with their expectations and values. The third principle is personality compatibility. People naturally trust those whose personalities resonate with theirs. However, this creates a challenge because the same behavior that inspires trust in one customer could breed distrust in another. For example, a casual demeanor might make one customer feel comfortable with you, while another might perceive it as unprofessional. The art of knowing your customer. To develop empathy and build trust, you must start by truly knowing your customer. This goes beyond superficial details like their job title or the size of their company. It involves understanding their motivations, fears, and unique contexts. Fortunately, the internet offers an incredible wealth of information that can help you in this endeavor. Platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, and other social media sites can provide valuable insights into a customer's professional and personal interests. Use these resources to learn about their career path, hobbies, affiliations, and even mutual connections. But tread carefully. There is a fine line between demonstrating that you care and coming across as intrusive. For example, mentioning a mutual connection or a shared alma mater can foster a sense of camaraderie. However, commenting on personal details like where their children go to school might make them feel uncomfortable. By focusing on what's publicly available and relevant to your interaction, you show the customer that you've done your homework and are genuinely interested in them as a person. Finding common ground. What do you have in common with the customer? Shared experiences, interests, or values can act as trust accelerators. Perhaps you attended the same university, cheer for the same sports team, or share a passion for a cause. These commonalities create a sense of familiarity and connection. Highlighting shared interests isn't just about making conversation. It's about building rapport and laying the groundwork for a relationship that feels natural and authentic. Navigating differences. Equally important is understanding what you don't have in common. Knowing a customer's preferences or sensitivities can help you avoid potential pitfalls. For instance, if you know a customer is strongly opposed to a particular political or social stance, steer clear of introducing those topics into your discussions. By being mindful of differences, you demonstrate respect and emotional intelligence, which further builds trust. Asking thoughtful questions. Sometimes the best way to learn about your customer is simply to ask. Thoughtful, open-ended questions not only provide valuable insights, but also show the customer that you care about their perspective. However, the key is to stay within appropriate boundaries. Questions like, what challenges are you facing in your business? Or what do you value most in a service provider are effective and professional. However, overly personal or invasive questions can harm the trust you're trying to build. Caring without creeping. Empathy isn't just about understanding your customers, it's also about making them feel understood. You must actively demonstrate that you care for them, their time, and their goals. Think of a photographer capturing a scene. The customer's perception is like the frame of the photo. Anything that happens outside the frame doesn't exist in their reality. It's not enough to care. You must ensure your actions and words clearly convey that you care to the customer. Respect their time. One of the simplest yet most impactful ways to show empathy is by respecting your customer's time. Be prepared for meetings, avoid unnecessary delays, and communicate efficiently. By showing that you value their time, you reinforce your professionalism and trustworthiness. Make them feel good about themselves. Maya Angelou once said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." This wisdom is especially relevant when building trust. Empathy requires you to make the customer feel respected, valued, and understood. Praise their insights, acknowledge their challenges, and validate their concerns. When customers leave interactions feeling good about themselves, they're more likely to trust you and your intentions. The trust premium through empathy. Empathy directly contributes to the trust premium, the additional value customers are willing to pay for a provider they trust. Customers don't just want a product or service. They want confidence that the provider understands them and will act in their best interest. By empathizing with your customers, you do not only enhance their experience, but also differentiate yourself from competitors who fail to connect on a personal level. This connection translates into loyalty, referrals, and a willingness to pay a premium for your services. In a world where trust is increasingly scarce, empathy is your secret weapon. It allows you to align your actions with your customers' needs, creating relationships that are not only professional, but deeply human. Do's and don'ts. Research your customers online. Use platforms like LinkedIn and social media to understand their professional and personal interests. Find common ground. Highlight shared experiences or interests to build rapport naturally. Respect differences. Identify topics to avoid and tailor your approach to their preferences. Ask open-ended questions. Use thoughtful questions to gain deeper insight into their needs and expectations. Show you care. Actively demonstrate that their goals and challenges matter to you. Respect their time. Be punctual, prepared, and avoid wasting their time with unnecessary discussions. Make them feel valued. Praise their insights and acknowledge their expertise and concerns. Focus on the context. Align your solutions to their specific situation rather than offering generic advice. Demonstrate humility. Be open to learning from their input and experiences. Validate their emotions. Acknowledge frustrations or concerns to show understanding and empathy. Don't overstep privacy boundaries. Avoid mentioning overly personal details like family or personal finances unless they share them. Don't be overly inquisitive. Avoid bombarding them with excessive or irrelevant questions that feel intrusive. Don't ignore their preferences. Always recognize their unique preferences and context to build trust. Don't make assumptions. Clarify their needs rather than guessing what they want or need. Don't appear unprepared. Always come to meetings with a clear understanding of their background and challenges. Don't dismiss their feelings. Acknowledge their concerns and challenges instead of belittling them. Don't use generic solutions. Offer tailored advice instead of one-size-fits-all recommendations. Don't appear insincere. Be genuine in your interest and care for their situation. Don't come across as creepy. Avoid comments or behaviors that could make them feel uncomfortable. And don't rush the relationship. Building trust takes time. Let the connection develop naturally. And that's the end of chapter 15. In this episode, we explored one of the most powerful and human behaviors in the trust-building process, and that's empathy. Empathy isn't sympathy or compassion or pity. Empathy isn't just about being kind. It's about making the effort to understand your customer's world, their goals, concerns, contexts, and preferences. I talked about how trust is personal and relative, and how the same behavior that earns trust from one customer might trigger distrust in another. I covered practical ways to build empathy, researching publicly available information, finding shared values or experiences, asking thoughtful questions, and most importantly, showing that you care, not just saying it. We also talked about the fine line between caring and creeping, and why respecting your customer's time, space, and individuality is so essential. Empathy creates a connection, and connection builds trust. And that trust, that earns you the trust premium. Next week, I'll wrap up part 3 with chapter 16, the fifth and final trust-building behavior in this book. I hope this made you think a little differently about trust and trust premium. May trust be with you. This was The Trust Show. What would you like to know about trust and trustworthiness? Let me know and I'll answer it in a future episode. I would love to hear from you. Email me at yoram@thetrustshow.com. If you like this episode, subscribe to the show so you will automatically get notified when I release a new episode. Rate it. Write a review for this podcast because those ratings help not only you, but also others looking for podcasts just like this. If you're looking for more resources to learn about how to build trust, be trusted, or know who to trust, look up my workshops, online courses, books, or go to my website, trusthabits.com. And remember that the answer to these two questions will have the biggest impact on your personal and professional success or failure. Can I trust you? And can you trust me? Thank you for listening or watching The Trust Show.